Hello. Alright, so in the last video we did a brief introduction to ifs, and now we're going to have a chance to really see how you could use them to allow your scripts to make decisions. So what I've done over here is I just have a div that we're going to be writing some information to if our if statement condition happens to be true. And what I've done over here is I have an if, an else if, and an else. So we're going to start from the script from the top and work our way through the bottom. I'll just show you how it works and then we'll run it. So first what we've done is we've just created a prompt, and in this prompt we want to verify that our user is of legal drinking age. So what I've done here is I've just written this in the prompt method, and if you're wondering why it's like this, it's because I don't like having big long one-liners, so I just concatenated it to the next line and finished it over here just to kind of make it look a little easier to see. So yeah, we're capturing the user's age in a prompt, and then we're holding it inside the user age variable. Underneath that, we are creating another variable called myDiv, and we're using the getElementById method. And what this does is it goes from the top of the document all the way to the bottom, and it's looking for an ID tag that has this word. So I mean, this ID, it doesn't have to be in a div, it could be in an ordered list, an unordered list, whatever you like. The point of it is though is it's going from the top of the document all the way to the bottom, and it's finding an ID with whatever I pass in between the two parentheses inside this method. So because I've written myDiv ID, it's going to go through the whole document and it's going to find an ID that says myDiv ID. If it finds it, it's going to put it inside a variable that I've given the name called myDiv. Underneath that is where we have our if. So after they've entered in their user age, we're then going to be running some conditional tests on it just to make sure that either they are over the legal drinking age, and if they're not, we got to let them know. So first and foremost, what I've done is I'm just going ahead and I'm saying if user age less than 19, meaning if they enter in an age of like 6 or 5 or whatever, what we're going to do is we have this string right over here, and it's going to say, sorry, you are not old enough to enter. And what we're doing with this string is we're taking our element that we have saved inside this myDiv variable. So we're calling that variable that currently holds the div with our ID tag in it. So we have myDiv, and then what we're doing is we're using the inner HTML to basically say, okay, you know that div that you found by the ID name myDiv ID? Alright, well, what I want you to do is take not the open element tag or the close element tag, but the inner of those two tags, the inside of whatever element you've grabbed. So if it's an li, it's going to be in between the open li and the closing li of a list, and it's going to produce a list item. Or if it's in the href tag, where you have your beginning a and then your closing /a, and you're going to put the name of the link in between those two values, it's going to write right into there. That might have sounded confusing, so I'm just going to show you. Right, so you have your href and your closing href. So the inner HTML is inside these two tags, right? So it's going to go inside of that HTML element, right? So you have your open, your close, and it's going to print this right inside this div tag for us, because we're saying our div, right? which is our element that we found by the ID, my div ID. So here's our element right over here, and we're going to print inside this tag into the inner HTML of this tag. So what if they're over 19 or they are 19? Well, we're using the user age greater than or equals 19. We're just going to say congratulations, and we're going to give them a drink on us. So that's what's going to get written to our div using the inner HTML by calling upon the element we've selected in the myDiv variable. And if they don't enter in a number, or they enter in something that's, not less than 19 or not 19 or over 19, we're just going to say, sorry, that response wasn't understood. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go over to our browser, and we're going to run this page right now and see what happens. So as you can see, the pop-up box came up. It's asking us for our age. Okay, so right now we'll just put in 6. And as you can see, it said, sorry, you're not old enough to enter. Well, why is that? Because, okay, this prompt came up. We put 6 inside this prompt. It stored it inside the user age variable. And it then went down to our if statement, and it's saying, okay, is 6 less than 19? Well, because 6 is less than 19, this is what printed to the screen right there, right? So I'll run it again, and I'm going to go, now we'll just say 36, and all right, beautiful, we got a free drink. So we entered 36, put it in user age. It's going to say, okay, is 36 less than 19? No, it's not. So this isn't going to get executed. And then it's going to go to the else. Okay, is 36 greater than or equal to 19? Well, yeah, it's greater than 19. So boom, congratulations. We'll go through, we'll do it one more time, where I'm just going to smash some keys. And yeah, that wasn't understood because it wasn't a value less than 19 or a value of 19 or greater. So this is what got printed. We put in some some letters, and then it found our element, and it wrote to the inner HTML, which means inside here, right? That's where it wrote to. All right, so that's basically what you got to do to write to a div. I noticed you guys have been doing that a lot lately. So, I mean, get used to it. If you have any questions about it, come to one of the sessions. Right now they're in D306, and Tuesdays you can find them from 2 till 3. Wednesdays they run from 1 till 4, and on Fridays the time has now recently changed, and you can find them from 2 till 4. So any questions, feel free to let us know. And yeah, until then, practice on your ifs. They're important, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, see ya.